Here's exactly how to flip houses with no money.
Now, most people think that they need to find the deal at first, but you know what? If you don't have the financing, if you don't have the money to buy the deal, you can waste a lot of time because then you'll find the deal and then you can't actually fund it. So step one is funding the deal.
Yeah, especially if you're going to go through the MLS Pro Wholesaler program where you're going to be finding a lot of your first deals on the MLS. Realtors, as part of their process, have to pre-qualify you as a buyer, which means having proof of funds or proof of some sort of financing. So even before you buy or find your first deal, you have to have that ready.
Absolutely. And so let's talk about the different types of financing you can secure. And let's conquer one fallacy real quick. Some people think that you have to have your own cash to buy a house, or you should use your own cash to buy a house. And one thing we've learned as investors doing a lot of deals is, let's say you did have $500,000 and you bought a house with that money. Well, now you're limited to only that house if you don't have other types of financing. You really inhibit your ability to scale. And so what we've seen from our experience is that the best investors have financing sources. So different companies and or people that you can borrow money from so that when you do one deal and you put $500,000 into it, guess what? You have another financing source and you can put money into that deal and another deal. Otherwise, if you just use your own cash, you're just going to be inhibited.
Yeah, it's kind of like with wholesaling, you know, in rehabbing, the speed of capital is important. The more deals you can do, the more you can turn your money, the more money you'll make. So like you said, in your example, if you have a $500,000, in most places in the US, you can maybe do one project, right? And let's say you do one project, $500,000, you'll probably make a $50,000 profit. That's 10%. But if you used your money as a down payment for like 3 projects, you might make 10,000 less per project, but you end up with 120 in the same period of time as only making 50.
Absolutely, and that's a textbook example of scale, what you can do when you have economies of scale. And now, so let's dive into the type of financing that you can get. You know, my first fix and flip deal that I did, I used a hard money lender. And I think for anyone watching this video, if you want to get started flipping houses, probably you're going to use a hard money lender or a private money lender. But a hard money lender, these are companies and or people in the business of lending money on your real estate, lending money for your deal. And they want fix and flippers, right? They want more business. And just a quick caveat, you know, we teach a lot of our members, our community, to actually wholesale houses to get that transactional experience of working with other fix and flippers and cash buyers. And now, if you start wholesaling, you can actually use that as leverage and bring that to a hard money lender. So they see your transactional experience, they've seen you've done deals, they've seen you calculate an ARV for a property. Because when I was able to get one of my first hard money loans, I leveraged my wholesaling experience. And they're like, oh, this guy's legit. He's done 30, 40, 50 deals. Like, he's good to go. Like, he gets to our best tier of funding.
Yeah, not only that, like most hard money lenders care more about that you found a good deal, right? Because worst case scenario, they can take it back and still make money. So if you feel inefficient because you've not done any deals, keep in mind hard money lenders almost care more about the deal itself than your level of experience. That's why they're a great first fit for you.
Yeah, and it's an asset-backed loan. Like they're lending on the deal, and with a hard money lender, typically they'll be in the first lien holder position. So they're basically going to give you a mortgage for the property.
Yeah, not only that, they will not make you personally guarantee your personal house, your personal assets. So worst case scenario, things go wrong, the house goes back to them, and your personal finances stay intact. You're not going to lose your personal home, your personal money. These are non-recourse loans. What that means is the loan is only tied to this one house. It's not tied to anything else you own.
And when we talked about your journey to South Carolina doing that first rehab deal, you used a hard money lender?
Yeah, I mean, it was really expensive, but I didn't have any other choice. And, you know, maybe I could have gone to some friends and family, tried to borrow some money, but, you know, I felt more comfortable borrowing money from a company that professionally lends and they know what the risks are than putting my family and friends' money at risk before I had some success and felt comfortable asking them for money.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that trait about you, and I follow that. I second that as well. And there's so much learning from working with hard money lenders that you can get. How do they structure the deal? What type of paperwork do they use? And so when you're ready to evolve to private money lending or using private money lenders, you learn so much. You learn about the interest rates, the fees, everything along those lines. It makes you a better real estate investor in the long run.
Absolutely. Most people start with hard money lenders, and as time went on, a lot of these companies became more experienced, more professional, and some of the rates they were offering are actually lower than private money, even close to traditional banks.
Yeah.
So when we got started, those hard money loans were 13, 15, 16%. By the time I got 5 years into this business and where rates are today, they were at the same price, if not cheaper, than like private money.
So let's talk about those rates. I mean, for anyone starting out, it might be 10, 12, 13, 14% annualized typically. So if you borrow $100,000, let's just say it was a 12-month project to keep it easy, 12% interest, you're going to pay $12,000 in interest on that $100,000.
Yes. And unlike a regular loan, they only make you pay the interest, not the actual $100,000 back. So when you buy your home and you have a 30-year mortgage, every year, every month, you're paying a little bit of interest and you're paying a little bit of the principal, which is the actual equity in the home you're paying down. Well, with a hard money lender, because they know cash flow is key for any investor, you only pay the interest. So the payment, although it's a higher interest rate, it could actually be lower than a mortgage for the same amount.
Yeah, perfect. So we have the interest, you're paying on a monthly basis, and it's just interest only for a lot of these lenders. So verify that. And then origination points. Talk about those, because that's important to consider when buying a property with a hard money lender.
Yeah, typically a hard money lender will charge you 1.5 to maybe 2.5, sometimes a little more if they're a smaller company that doesn't do a lot of loans. And what points are basically percentage of the total loan amount. So if you're borrowing $100,000, they might charge you 1.5% to 2%, which is $1,500 to $2,000, and that's cash you have to bring at the closing table to get the loan closed.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it on the fees. Maybe some have, some appraisals. Each hard money lender is a little bit different, so you need to build a relationship with them. You need to understand their fees. Some don't have appraisal fees. Some don't have any paper processing fees. But just know that the main fees are going to be those interest payments and then the origination fee.
And typically out of all of our lender types, besides private money and cash, they'll be able to close relatively quick, as soon as 7 days.
Yeah, that's why I just always say they're in the business of lending money. Hard money lenders are in the business of lending money to fix and flippers. Yeah. And it's congruent, it's easy to work with them. You're not talking to someone who doesn't know what to do when you bring them a distressed deal that you can make a profit on. They're in this business of lending, and they want more business. Hard money lenders make money by lending money, and that's important to understand if you're just starting out, because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm afraid to raise money. I don't know who to get it from. They want to give you money if the deal is right.
Not only that, when you're getting started, a lot of times they'll provide you a letter saying you're approved for up to this much, so you can use that when making offers, showing that you're already pre-approved.
Yeah, and especially on market, right? Like you mentioned earlier, agents are going to want to see that proof of funds.
Yep.
So one great way to get proof of funds is build a relationship with a hard money lender, and you get access to their proof of funds. They'll give you an approval to use their proof of funds up to a certain amount, which is typically going to be the purchase price of the property at the very least, so that the agent can say or can see, Joe or Jane can bring all the money and close on this deal. And the great thing about hard money lending too is a lot of agents see it to be as good as cash. That's my experience. You're going to still close on time. When we're dealing with distressed property, typically you want a quick closing time. And a lot of these fix and flippers can close on your timeline. And so we like to look at hard money lending, and we'll get into private money lending, but that's as good as cash. All right, awesome. So let's talk about finding hard money lenders. How do you find them? So one thing we've done on the Real Estate Skills website, if you go to realestateskills.com and look in the resources section, you'll be able to see some of the top hard money lenders across the nation that we approve of, that we've worked with. Yep. So you can go there, check those hard money lenders out, and see if they lend in your state. Now, additionally, I also want to mention that you can find local hard money lenders in your area by attending Real Estate Investor Association meetings. These meetings, when I started out 10 years ago, I would attend all the Real Estate Investor Association meetings that I could within an hour or 2 hour radius. And this is so I could build relationships with fix and flippers, cash buyers, contractors, but also the people that are there are hard money lenders. And when it came time for me to borrow money for a fix and flip, I had already seen this hard money lender several times. He knew who I was, he felt comfortable with me, and was some of the easiest money I was able to get because he already knew me, right? I've shook in his hand, we've ate some snacks together, had coffee, and I just can't stress the importance of building those local relationships.
Yeah, hard money lenders are a pretty common vendor at these real estate association meetings. They like to pay the group money so they can pitch their hard money services there. So they are a great resource and a great place to find them. And now we want to get into talking about private money. Private money is any company, individual, friends, family that give you money to do your fix and flip project.
And the difference about private money is that there's a lot more negotiation room. You're typically the one, or at times you are leading the charge on the negotiation. Sometimes you can dictate the terms, and it's more about you presenting an opportunity to the private lender to make a better interest rate on their money than other investments. So maybe talk about the differences with private money and maybe how that's evolved for you.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely nailed it on the head as far as the being in charge of the negotiation. A lot of people that do want to invest in real estate but never have, they don't know what the interest rate should be, how much money to give you. Is it 100% of the deal, 80% of the deal? Ultimately, it's up to you to educate and negotiate. I could tell you though, from going to these real estate investment associations to find hard money lenders, one of the things I've also found is there's a lot of realtors in these groups. And these realtors not only want to list your houses for sale, help you find houses to buy, they're actually one of the best private money lenders in real estate. And the reason for that is they know the numbers. They sell houses every day, they look at houses every day. So unlike someone that's never funded a real estate deal, friends, family, anyone you work with, they understand the market, they understand housing. They know if you're looking to borrow money for a fix and flip deal, it is a great deal that you found. They'll feel comfortable and actually want to get the commission from you by listing it for you. So it's a great trade-off. You give me the money to buy a house, you can actually make money on commission by representing me to purchase it. But also, hey, if you give me money to fix and flip this house, I'll use you to list it and then you'll make another commission. And that way, sure, you're giving me money at a 10% or 8%. It's not as high as hard money, but when you add the commission, your annual return jumps to 15 to 20%. That's how I've used that strategy to find my biggest group of private money lenders, which are realtors.
That's an awesome golden nugget right there. Most people aren't thinking about leveraging realtors that you work with already that understand the numbers to borrow money from them for these deals. So that's another benefit of working on the market with these MLS deals. It's something that we've started doing well over a decade ago, and then those relationships just continue to provide fruit for us.
Yeah, and another great transition from hard money to private money, if you're just getting started, sometimes you don't even have the down payment for hard money. Yeah. So if you meet a realtor who wants to give you money, you can use their money as the down payment for the hard money, right? So now they're still going to get the commission. You can offer them 10, maybe a little more of an interest rate because they're going to be in second position behind the hard money lender. So it's a little bit riskier of an investment. But when you combine their commission with a smaller investment to you, that means their return is going to be in the double digits, 30, 40%. So it's a great deal for a realtor to help you get started. And also, if you don't have cash, you can use their money or another private money lender you find for the down payment for a hard money lender.
Yeah, that's great advice, great nuggets. And now with hard money, right, we might have a 12% interest loan, 2% origination points. The cool thing with private money is that you may have no origination points, don't have to pay anything to borrow that money.
Right.
And then what are some of the rates you've borrowed private money at that can make it more desirable than hard money?
Yeah, I mean, it's gone anywhere from 6% up till 12%. So it really varies, but it depends on your negotiation.
Yeah, and that's a big difference. Like 6% is what, 50% of 12%. Like Correct. That reduces your costs on borrowing money on the deal. And when you're flipping a house, you want to mitigate risk. Like we talked about in the beginning, you want to be conservative. And so if you can reduce the interest rate by 50%, then that's just going to make your deal much more likely to win in the end. And so it's all these little things that add up to a successful deal.
Yeah, especially some of my best, again, private money lenders were agents, and they were more concerned about getting a lot of deals. So if they lend to me at lower interest rates, that means I can make more money, more deals will work. Rather than trying to get 12%, and now the difference between 12 and 8 is a deal killer, say, hey, I'll give it to you at 8%, but I'll get way more listings. Yeah. So it's a win for everybody.
That's great. I love that. Yeah, negotiating, like, hey, work with me here, scratch my back, I'll scratch your back Absolutely. Down the line. One piece of advice on private money lending that I like, that I've heard from a mentor in the past was, Alex, you ask for money, a lot of times you'll get advice. Ask for advice, a lot of the times you'll get money. And so if you're taking people out to coffee or to lunch, asking them advice on business deals, what you're doing, and you show this opportunity and how it's working for you, people that are high net worth individuals that want to lend and make money on their money may offer to give you money. Some of my first private money lenders were either friends who are older than me, entrepreneurs, people I met at networking events, and it really developed through like friendships and just talking about what we're doing, and they thought that flipping houses was really cool. They wanted to be a part of it, and they offered to lend me money. And so that's how it started for me on my private money lending journey.
Yeah, I mean, to be able to sit down with someone and say, look, you know, I'm finding houses at 30% below market value, right? And how many people wouldn't want to be in a safe investment like that?
And a lot of times, like, it's better than the stock market or better than a savings account. So that's, you know, that's the benefit to private money lenders. If they just have their money sitting in the bank account, losing money to inflation, this is an inflation hedge for them.
Yeah. And look, when you're getting started, if you need to offer a percentage of your profit too, that's totally okay. I've done that, right? Anything to get started. I mean, if I had to offer friends and family and other investors 10, 20, even 50-50, but I have no money out of pocket, I have no personal risk, to me that's fair sometimes, especially when you're new and getting started and just need to prove the concept.
All right, so hard money lending and private money lending are the top two money sources if you're starting out as a real estate investor who wants to flip houses. But also down the line, like you're going to be using hard money lending, private money lending. Private money lending is actually where you want to be getting as much capital as you can to scale your house flipping business, because that's where you can get the 6%, 7%, 8% loans. So you may start with hard money lending, assist with private money lending, and then hopefully you get to the point where you have all private money lenders funding your deals. Yeah,
and I can tell you another golden tip. How many times I've talked to a seller that I want to buy their home, and this is a house that's not their personal home. They didn't really need the money. Maybe they inherited the house or it was a secondary house, and these sellers turn into my longtime private money investors. I still have people that I've bought their houses and they've been investing with me for 5, 6, 7 years. So you can turn your sellers into your private money lenders as well.
Boom. So you can raise money from almost everyone.
And that's how we flip houses with no money. Be on the lookout for the next video in this series. And if you want to build a hyper profitable wholesaling and flipping business, then check out my full in-depth training at realestateskills.com/watch. And I'll put the link in the description. I'll see you there, and happy flipping.